to explain this card, not. And this was the form of the cloud of the fire, or whatever, just now. And is C by back, of course. You see in this X concerning the chart on the 9/11 figures. I'm seeing these like I was here seeing this, or I was here seeing this. There's also a possibility of X understanding of correlation between points. Can't even be sure, but seems be like this. This was my mental conscience after seeing this fact recently. It can be indeed by this way. Try to pass state institution and ministries before. This was the center of the state, can we say, during decades and the old regime. Man. So it was not recorded. I will comment it then after I will change the axis of the camera. That will be what? Wednesday, the 16th of October, 9/11. Yeah, indeed. 9:45 in the afternoon, night already. I've recalled yesterday a video that I've published on the pocket of bandits and terrorists by the recent view of the monster that rests on the throne on New York, in New York after the fall of towers. She's a sheet that I have drawn to illustrate by memory the points, the key frames that I have detected on my analysis of the footage of 9/11 during the fall. This is show immediately after when the two towers come down. And this was the draw yesterday. And still he's on my table because I start seeing, of course, other aspects. For instance, this symbol, I'll do some references. Minsk Summit, because it's written on Minsk Summit, and this is the atomic mushroom of a cover of Hiroshima, My Love, from the Raz, in Ashina region. And the other was the night Voldenweed, Saint-Exupéry, a bag of city of postcards or planes that we use on these times in transatlantic mails. This now for me is also the head of a cook, the first one, the mushroom, the atomic mushroom. This is the first analysis concerning status. And there seems a figure, animal figure outlined here, kind of mankind also. This form, this miark that I have drawn, I'm not relating this with this footage that is already on the pocket of someone, I'm sure. I draw the appearance of octopus, also Medusa. It was the first definition of Medusa by the hairs as snakes, the bird head. And what I see is a ground in a certain way here. And I see a symbol that is on the table down, because I've sought an argued liberty, Maserati, trident, because trident is also included on the analysis of 9/11 by the porno vinyls or whatever, the vinyls covers. Is one of the symbols of Neptune and the trident that appears just now these days to my eyes. This is a particular form because it's also a structure. The resultant on the drawing is a structure like a magnet for science, but also an idea of another definition of columns of temple, an arc, a smear, better saying. If we see both basis here. This has a particular reference in the beginning of this Crime After 9/11 on U2 concert. The structure on the stage. After I'm speaking, why? Not structures and what they represent, even in political power, the disposal of congresses or parliaments and whatever, the different levels between peoples, contrary to all Greek concepts of equality, equivalence, same plan, or Rome even. But this is Rome, Maserati also. But also say that and I speak about this. For instance, people speak on the center, stand up and go to the center of a circle and start speak. And I speak this also about concerts or whatever, and then it appears the concept of U2 with a structure similar to this one where they were in the center. I say, this someone has go to my rights or comments on this subject and as prophet to scenography. I expect now on YouTube. It is untold by the story of this clip very whole on Dublin bombs and wars and so on. I suppose this is my first reference on my writings during all these 2 decades, more than 2 decades. And I suppose this is the only reference to a SME arc, which means the figure now it's inside the SME arc. This is a photo that was published in this year, print, I suppose, perhaps for the end. The other thing is, I put the throne also there to correlate the view on the fall, on the dust meets the throne, which is an inverted throne concerning the position of the throne where the baby slide are the feet of or are the support of the raising of the octopus medusa with a bird hair. This is important. You also see LM Luigi Marx. So advertising this is connected with the robbers of Channel Zero and the particular reunion in his cabinet with the broken glass, very large, which also reflected a broken wing on the Avenida Pedra Mistral from the Totten objects, but also has become a 9/11 value by the many values agglutinated, as I have explained during all these years. In the same way, for instance, this is the representation of the smoke of the baby now in this whatever fire. And I say lesion now, the machine mode for customs. But there's also, and I say leash now, I write it leash now, but what I see is a beast, and again, it seems again as a deed or something in the kind. There's also a representation of a delta here between the baby and the androgyny figure, assuming that she is in this place, or he is, or she is, in this place of the throne, because I have this daughter, as again I will explain. This is strange because this is quickly traces concerning the appearance of the libella, the helicopter now put on scene on Expo. And this will be the T, the inverted T, but it's a wave again. The T is the wave. It's the conclusion that I can take, and the libella is not a libella, not even an helicopter, but it's like smash. We are speaking about smash, it's helicopters on this story. As the same, the figure here appears, the 2 columns are not really 2 columns. And the triple base of the corp, which is the Kaisersplanage, the real one, it's a representation. As I say, I understand here when I'm speaking about bicos, the bulls of Chaz, Flaptius, and Casa dos Bicos. There are some particular readings with church during already this crime, as gave detailed account by some paintings that were on the facade, this very particular facade. What I see there is Can M, Can Media. Can is a term for the quarters of embassies in the Almonds, the elevation of Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, and the last entrance is this advertising on New York with Hulk coming from a window on my wrapper like a monster on 9/11, because there's a figure that comes out from the fire, but it's not a wolf, it's a falcon or something in the kind. It's a bird animal, as I have defined. This is strange also, the resultant sound towers. This is the zone of the base. There's a particular resonance during this is a cubic stone. I will show this after with another study, and this becomes also significant. But this seems, and I have drawn the form up at the towers, the zone in the axe where I see now, or better say, the transposition of the axe, which is also already on just one eye, not both, which is the theme of the pirate. I have the different facts. Mainly, I suppose, a road construct on Neiman or P here, and Southwest Asiatic 2005 and so on, just to put you on track. This what I'm seeing, these without stone or the facets of the cubic stone, is a kind of profundity fish. There's a kind of a fish like this, I suppose, with this general form, the queue and a body like this round. What I called my attention was this as the contrary, in the reverse. When the column with this transposition of two columns to these two figures is the road, and what comes now is, first of all, was this, in this facet, this became a kind of gâteau on the cake. This has a particular reference concerning a photo of the Théâtre Merveilleuse, Gillette. That is also the name of a blade in symbolical terms from the French photos that I have included in different analyses. This one is published with a particular style because, first of all, this is a very beautiful work with kids, and there's a very complex narrative in symbolical terms. This is acquired the spider team and so on. I put also a net of spider on my room just these days. Perhaps to inject this well, I don't know. But this gâteau, that's the only reference that I understand. I understand now, I remember my memory concerning these years. And I can see, because there's some details with gâteaux on the scene of the Théâtre Merveilleux de Gilles François, je crois, where we see this, also the cubic facet in a certain way. I did not check nothing of these. I see again a hem, and I see a vase of hem, and two columns or two follows by side on the inversion of the throne, because now it's an inverted view. And I suppose I have saw this form of the gâteau on the facet, which means, I suppose, the bite. A bite, a trap, or an object used to a trap. I don't know in what terms. But I saw this idea, if I remember well just now, of gâteau, other place here, but I do not see now. And these are the first aspects that come to my mind. Now, there's a 3C or 3-2 inverted to 2 and the 3 up. This was what? The representation on the map of Costa Caparica está 6T Corp or 6 Devil, sign the old game the two faces like this, call all EU, lace or problem, whatever. I suppose this is all that I can show you now. Some comments on drones, because this is on my conscience for many years after the 9/11, still is by this fire again, and this return to Expo. This is for me is the representation of the wave, but it's also a finger with a nail, and the libella they have a relation with this, but this is much libella. The real one has object very large. It's got the same size of a small helicopter, but real is also in a position that can suggest the crash. And I have some particular details that I'll show and comment on videos that are on the pocket of terrorists that I have shot when and now. In the last time that I was on Expo, they have put this, which is also the high symbol there, the pirate high and so on. Martinal. This is in front of Martinal, also a strange building by reasons that I have shall explain. There's an idea of helmet here. And 3 blades. That seems connected with the representation as lines quickly draw, as understood in the previous comment. Previous video on the baby returning of 9/11, the baby monster, and there seems a relation with the libel. I see an helmet also where I suppose there are 2 helmets. I just see this. Now this is the finger or the nail of the wave. And they have a helmet and 3 kind of blades, and this become more or less a kind of tear by the box itself. This is the libella, which draw quickly yesterday. That's what I can say for now. This take us only 7 minutes. I do not have very much more memory again on this machine, and I will not lose my time eternal on these without answers. And just you kill still goes on killing you, or you're never ending battle until the end of dragons, I suppose. I just say this because these have particular correlations. They are input-output TVs. The last one act apparently online by Gates, Eve Gates, and the Chaminade Toit here, and manipulations of input-output of TV or images. This is a team that is on the current crimes of the banks and the SCS in my writing. And then this manipulation of videos. There's a video that reproduced these that was stolen. Is the first change of napkins with Francisco when returned from the hospital after birth. In our house, this is one of the stolen videos. This is important because the average act of Coco is the definition. And when I see these, I say, what is this now? As this build and construct retouch on the footage to give this connection, frame, whatever. 55 rover of him, I don't know. But this is all accounting style. I will not repeat me until eternity without answers.